welcome back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and that way you won't miss out on any future posts. So today we're going to be making something quick and easy to dress up a pair of pants for a little girl or a little boy, depending on who you're making it for. But we're going to make this adjustable slide belt. So all you're going to need is a couple of D-rings and a strip of fabric, the width of the fabric, and you can make this super easy belt. So let's get started. Alrighty, so today we're making, as I said, we're making a kid's adjustable belt, and as you can see, it adjusts very easily and it just slides backwards and forwards. But we can make it smaller, or we just loosen those straps a little bit and you can adjust it to make it a little bit less tight. But if they pull on it, it won't come apart. So you're going to need a piece of fabric, and I'm just using the width of my fabric straight off the bolt today because it is for a 3-year-old girl. So you will have to measure your child to see what length you need, and you may have to join a couple of strips together. So basically all you want to do is cut it for the width of the fabric, and you want it to be about 3.5 inches in width. You're also going to need some matching thread, a couple of D-rings, and I'll leave a link down below where you can get these particular D-rings. You're going to need some scissors and rotary cutter, and you're also going to need some quilting rulers, and you can either have pins or wonder clip, and I prefer to use wonder clips for this particular project. You're also going to need an iron and an ironing pad. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our fabric and we're going to head over to the ironing board and we're going to create our strip. But just a note on stabilizers. For this particular project, we don't actually need any stabilizers for the belt, but if you were making one for an adult, you're actually getting a wider belt, and I would suggest that you put some sort of stabilizer in it. Whether that is woven or a non-woven one, that will depend entirely on what you want to use and what you have on hand. So let's head over to the ironing board and prep our strip. Okay, so we've got our strip here and our iron's heated up. So what we need to do is we need to actually take off our selvages, and we also need to measure it down to 30 inches in size. So you just need to take a little bit off the length of this particular strip. And I've just cut my strips at the width of the bolt, so straight off the bolt. So what I'll do is I'll just grab my quilting ruler and I'm going to just cut off the selvage. And then using my tape measure, I'm just going to measure 30 inches. And then I'll just grab my pen and just make a mark. Alrighty, so I've made my mark there, and I'm just going to line that up on my cutting board, and then I'll just cut that off and then work with your 30-inch strip. Now what you're going to do, and this is super simple, is basically you're just going to fold it in half and you're going to press it. And you're going to do that all the way along the strip. And once you've done that, you're going to open it back up, and then you're just going to fold it in your short ends about 1/4 inch, and you can just eyeball that. This is just to give you a nice finish so there's no raw edges. And then you're going to do the same at the opposite end. Again, just folding that in and pressing that into place. Now we're going to take the long sides, both raw edges, and we're going to take it into that crease. And then you're going to press all the way along. And I just like to do one side at a time. And there is a tool that I like to use, and that's my clapper. And because it does get quite hot, I can just put that on, and I know that that's going to make a nice crease for me. And I'll put a link down below where you can actually get these from. I use them for all sorts of things. I use them for making bag straps and card pleats for credit cards and stuff in my wallets. I also use it for this sort of thing as well. It just saves my fingers from getting burnt, to be honest. Then you're going to repeat down the other side. Okay, so then once you've done that, you're just actually going to fold it back on itself. Okay, so you can see there that that's all pressed in place, and you can see by using that tailor's clapper, it actually gives it a really nice finish, and it's nice and even, and I'm not going to have to stress about this when I've got it in the sewing machine that these are going to move. But just to make sure, I grab my wonder clips and I just run some wonder clips down all the way down the length of it, and it just keeps it all together for me and makes it a little less stressful of things moving around. And I do the same thing for my bag straps as well. So we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and you're going to lengthen your stitch length because we're going to top stitch down either side of our long edges. So what you're going to do is lengthen your stitch length up to maybe a 3 or a 3.5, and it will depend on your machine. So as I always say, test your machine first before you do your top stitching, but you want to have a lengthened stitch because it gives you a nicer finish. So basically all we're going to do is head over to the sewing machine, and we're going to start at one end and stitch all the way down, and then we're going to start at take it out and then do the other side, and then we'll be adding our D-rings. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add our D-rings. So you're just going to fold this over, and this just gives it a nice clean look on the edge. Then you grab your D-rings and you're just going to add them on like so, and then we're just going to fold that again, and that works out to be about 1 inch. And then all we're going to do from there is stitch 1/8 of an inch across this part here, and then getting as close as we can to the D-rings and stitching across there. Now I like to use my wonder clips at this point, but you may find it a little bit cumbersome to do that. You can definitely use your pins. That is entirely up to you. So again, we're just going to get as close as we can to these D-rings, and we're going to stitch straight across here, and then 1/8 of an inch near this raw edge here. Okay, so now what we need to do is secure our other end. So you can see on this one here, so we have our D-rings in place and it's folded over underneath. And then if you look at the opposite end, it actually goes to the opposite of what you have at the D-ring end. So all we're going to do is we're going to grab our D-rings. We can see that that's stitched underneath. We're going to go to the opposite end, and then we're just going to bring that up just like so, and then we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and we're just going to stitch 1/8 of an inch across there. Don't forget to reverse at the beginning and at the end. Okay, so we've stitched that into place, and now our belt is ready to place on our jeans. Okay, so our little belt is done. As I said, this belt is around about, we work with 30 inches, and it ends up being around about 26.5, 27 inches by the time we're finished. There's no exact measurements for the ends or anything like that. Just put it in so you're able to actually sew it on the sewing machine. And just remember that once you've put the D-rings in, you need to put them in first, and once you've put them in, then at the other end you're actually going to have it opposites. And then to thread it through, all you do is make sure that this part of your D-ring end is facing down to the jean, and that way when you do it up, it will actually, this end will be face down as well, so you've got a nice clean look. So when you put the belt through, you just go through the loopholes, as I said, remembering to have the this end facing down onto the jean. Go through all of the loops through that last one, and then basically you've got your 2 D-rings. You just slip the belt through that, then you separate the 2, so come through a little bit, separate the 2 so they're like this, then you're going to come back over and you're going to slip it through that way, and there you have it, an adjustable belt. So you can see you can put some pressure on that and it doesn't move. You actually have to move the D-rings before it becomes it starts to loosen or tighten. There we go. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I really do hope that you enjoyed this quick little tutorial for how to make an adjustable slide belt for the little one in your life. Little Em just loves hers. She likes to put it on all her pair of pants, and as you can see here, it looks absolutely gorgeous and dresses up any pair of pants that you've got. And these cute little blue jeans, I just love them with the rose zips. So if you like this video today, give it a thumbs up down below, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future crafty posts. And for those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed for Darvanalee Designs Studio, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.